Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
A ver, fíjate.
But they still haven't sent me a notification. Here we go.
¿Sí está?
Yeah.
¿Sí nos escuchan? ¿Sí se escucha, amigo?
There's nobody in there.
Oh, okay.
We should sit.
Okay, I guess we are okay. Thank you guys for joining in. We had to move the time for 1 hour later. I had a little things to do, and I was hoping that Pita made it on time. But Pita's not going to be on our show today because he's I think he's in San Diego right now, and he's not going to have time to make it. So, sorry for the inconvenience. It's still Labor Day weekend, so people, I'm sure they're at home. So hopefully you guys enjoy this show. There's not much, that we're gonna talk about, because I was at the bubble this weekend. So as you guys know, once you're in the bubble, we can't really see other fights. And when I was there for Bam's fight, I didn't get to stay to watch the main event. So I was able to watch it today in the morning. I know there was also some fights on Fox. I was able to check out a couple of fights on that show too. So we'll get started with the show, Saturday show on ESPN Plus, top rank show with Herring and I believe Oquendo. There was a little bit of controversy, as you guys seen. I think Herring was fighting pretty good. Watching the fight this morning, I think he was winning. He was ahead on the points. It did seem like he was tiring out a little. It seemed like he tired out, or for some reason the cut was really affecting him, because those last couple of rounds he was pretty much slowing down a lot. Looked like he was trying to survive, and made it seem like he used the excuse of the cut to stop the fight. But at the same time, I don't want to believe that, because he's a world champion, world class fighter who he's been through a lot in his life. He's in the I believe Marines. He's in the Marines, and he's been through a lot. So I don't want to think the way a lot of people are thinking, that he gave up. But I think they just didn't do it the right way. There's a lot of fights, when a fighter is behind on the scorecards and there's a headbutt and the cut is big enough for you to say, the fighter can't see anymore. Well, they stop it, and if it's before the fourth round, then they don't even go to the scorecards, and the fight ends up in a draw. Another thing that I noticed is it seemed like the corner, Bomac was a little confused from what we were able to hear through ESPN. He kind of lost it a little, not knowing what happens. But they clearly tell everybody in the rules meeting, especially on title fights, the rules, and the fighter that causes the intentional injury, which in this case the fight was called, the headbutt was intentional. The ref called it intentional. So when that happens, the fighter that caused the accident cannot win. No matter what, he's not going to win. Even if he's ahead in cards, he's not going to win. That's the rule. So I think that's one thing Bomac wasn't aware of, or didn't pay attention to the rules meeting. But it's going to be a really important example for them. It's a learning experience. They're going into a bigger fight against Frampton, and they're going to have to be a little bit more prepared. Things like this could happen to anybody. This time it was Herring and his team. A little bit of they were not aware of the rules and how everything was going. But look, since since when the headbutt happened and the ref called it an intentional headbutt, then that means if the fight ends because of that headbutt, the one that intended that caused that the accident, he can win no matter what. He just can't win. So that's one thing that Bomac didn't forgot or didn't at that moment he didn't think about. But it's already came out with a win. He moves on to fight Frampton. From what I understand, that's the fight that they're looking forward to doing. Top Rank is also doing Valdez versus Berchel, and that's another 130-pound title fight, and it's going to be pretty interesting, to have both fights and then the winners face each other, like in a four fighter tournament. Pretty interesting. I think the better fight of both is going to be Valdez versus Berchel. I think that's going to be a true war. We might pick Berchel to have the edge because he's just the bigger man, very strong physically. But Valdez has really good skills. He's got really good skills, and I know Eddie Reynoso will train him very hard and have him in good shape for that fight. So it's going to be pretty interesting. The Frampton versus Herring. From the rounds that we seen last night with Herring, I thought he was boxing really good, keeping that distance. His corner kept instructing him to keep that half distance, step back and get him with that uppercut, and he did on one occasion and dropped him. So he was pretty effective there. Going towards the late rounds, he was fading a little, so it kind of seemed like he did find a way out and use that that excuse. But hey, everything is during a fight, whatever it takes to win. I think he found that way to stop the fight, and he was going to win because it was going to be a disqualification. So it just kind of gave us a little bit of like a bad taste, to see how he's going to react in a real fight. If he is to beat Frampton, then he fights the winner of Valdez and Berchel. Then that's where we want to see how he's going to react there, because that whoever wins and whoever he faces, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough fight, and I think he's already in a very tough fight against Frampton. So can't wait for those fights. I'm excited about the 130 division right now. They're going to have great fights, and just those four fighters right there, those two fights are going to be two fights that you guys should all be aware of and be excited to watch, because they're going to be full of action. On that same card, you guys seen our GBA fighter Jesse Bam Rodriguez, and we've been getting nothing but good comments. Everybody's been giving us props for the work that Bam's done, the improvement that he's done from his pro debut, which was actually aired on Telemundo. It was a tough fight. He was in there against a solid kid that actually hurt him in the last round and gave him a hard time. But he pulled off the win. But since then, he's improved so much. Last night's performance was one of those performances where everybody was wow. Everybody there live. People that work for Top Rank, they were all wow. This kid could really fight. Everybody was impressed. Commentators. Bernardo Zuna, Christina Poncher, they all called me right away, excited about that kid. I know Timothy Bradley, Ward, and everybody working on commentating the fight. They were giving Bam nothing but props, and they mentioned that I said it in the fighter meeting the day before. Actually, the day of the weigh-in, we go in front of the cameras to talk to the commentators, and they asked me, why are you so excited about this kid? And I said, look, you guys all know my stable, with Mikey, Virgil Ortiz, Jose Ramirez, who is a world champion right now. You guys know I have a great stable of welterweights, junior welterweights that are making a lot of noise, big fights, pound for pound, in the pound for pound list. But this kid's special. He's a 108 pounder, but he's one that you guys got to check out, and one that has potential of being a great champion. And I think he could be champion in at least maybe 3 or 4 weight divisions. In the smaller weight divisions, there's only 3 or 4 pound difference from one weight division to the other. So I think this kid has potential of being champion in at least, like I said, 3 or 4. He's got the skills, he's got the power, he's got the footwork, he's fast, he's accurate. I'm sure you guys all seen the fight. All those that seen the fight got excited about this kid and want to see his next fight. He's already ranked number 3 in the world. We don't know if this performance is gonna maybe move him up to number 2 or number 1, but at number 3, he's already there to fight for a world title. I really believe there's opportunities for him to become champion within 2 or 3 fights from now. I think by next year he should be getting a world title fight, and hopefully we could have two brothers world champions, because he is the younger brother of Joshua Franco. And all the commentators and everybody was asking why do they have different last names. Well, from what I heard, Jesse Rodriguez, his father, he was telling us that when Joshua Franco was born, he wasn't around because he was not together or something to do with, they were not married with the mom. So the parents, being a little old school, took her away and had the baby without Jesse Rodriguez. So Franco took the mother's name, and obviously they got together, they raised their family, and then Bam was born, and Jesse was there, so he got Rodriguez. He got the last name, Rodriguez. So that's the only reason they don't have the same last name. It's not because they're from different moms or different dads. They have the same mother and same father. But a lot of people do ask that question, and just wanted to clear that up. That was the show. I know there was a few other fights. Like I told you, I was in the bubble. I couldn't see the rest of the fights. I seen the Herring-Oquendo fight on YouTube. Actually, I looked it up this morning to see it, but I didn't see the whole card, because honestly I don't even remember who was on the undercard. I know there was a show today on Fox, and I was able to see. I was at a friend's house, and he turned on the TV, and I was able to see the fight right before Ugas, the kid from Texas, El Relámpago, Juarez, I think his last name is, and I've seen him a couple times, and I know there's been some good comments on him, that he could be another Oscar De La Hoya, another Golden Boy, and from what I seen in his fight, he was in a real test today. He won clearly. I think he might have lost one round maybe, but I think he clearly won the fight. But he needed those rounds. I think the guy they put in front of him was just tough, durable, and made him work those 8 rounds. It's sometimes it's really good to go the distance and show your promoter, your manager, your team that you're capable of going the distance. And I think that was a really good learning experience for him. The kid does have skills. He fights very well. I think he's one that could be a world champion in the near future. I know his team is not going to rush him, but I think he does have very good skills to become a world champion. And with the management that he has, the team that's behind him, I'm sure they're gonna take their time. There's no rush, and I think he's got the goods. The kid's good looking. He's got a good style. He's sharp, and it looks like we got Bear. Bear's our special guest. Come here, Bear. Here you go, Bear. Bear's our special guest today.
Yep.
Bear's back. He just got back last night from San Antonio. He's been in San Antonio for like 3 or 4 months. We hadn't seen him in a while, but he's back. He's walking, and we're very excited to have Bear back. Lexi, Papa? Look, he wants to take a pound for pound CBD gummy bear. Shouldn't take this, baby. Shouldn't take this, okay?
People are asking who.
Okay, today since Pita's not here, I'm gonna have Alvin with me. He's gonna help me with some questions. it's hard for me to be reading and answering questions, but Alvin's gonna be helping me, so he's gonna start reading some of your questions, and I'm gonna answer as many as I can. I know we got plenty of time. Like I said today, I didn't see too much boxing. The show on ESPN, I wasn't able to see it, and Fox, I seen Relámpago, and then I also seen Ugas. Ugas became the regular WBA welterweight champion, and Ugas is very talented. He won his fight. I think he looked good, impressive. He's a welterweight that should be taken in consideration. Every time they talk about top welterweights, they mention Errol Spence, they mentioned Crawford, obviously Manny Pacquiao, and a few others, but very few times I don't see them counting Ugas as one of those top welterweights, or maybe because his style or whatever it is, they kind of leave him out. But I think he's the real deal. The other one, before I forget, the other one that everybody's mentioning right now is Virgil Ortiz. Obviously you guys know, and he works in our gym, and he's doing a great job to put his name up there among all the best welterweights. But he's in our gym, so I don't really like to unless he fights and we have to talk about his fight, then I like to mention my fighters. I didn't mention Mikey, and Mikey's also fighting at welterweight, so that's just the way I like to keep. I try to mention all the other names in those divisions, but Ugas is one that everybody has to be careful, because you guys always leave him out, but when he's in front of you, he's a real threat, and we got to be aware of him, because he's the real deal. I don't know what else happened in boxing. I don't know if DAZN had any fights. What's coming up next? This next Saturday, I know I'm gonna be back in the bubble, because I have Eric Puente fighting on that card. I also had Genaro Gomez that was gonna be scheduled to fight on that same card next Saturday, but just 2 days ago we had to pull him out of the card. There was some personal business that he's going through that gave us the reason to pull him out of the card, and he will not be on the card. We don't know when he will be back. He's got some business that he's got to solve before he gets back in the gym. So we'll keep you guys posted. I know I'm still gonna be there for Eric Puente, and hopefully you guys tune in on ESPN or ESPN Plus. I don't even know. So you guys could check it out. Eric Puente is another one of our young fighters that he lives in San Diego, but he comes to my gym 2 or 3 times a week on sparring days. He gets a lot of good sparring with my lightweights. He spars Tanajara, Lua. He spars Murataya. So he gets a lot of good sparring, and he's getting better and better. He's the one that will be fighting next Saturday. Okay, Alvin, we're gonna go with some questions.
People are asking who wins, Crawford or Ugas.
Who wins, Crawford or Ugas? I think at this point, I think Crawford. I still give the edge to Crawford. I think Crawford's just a little more technical. He switches from right-handed to left-handed, and he's very smart. He knows how to use the distance. Even though Ugas, like I said, he's very strong. He's a solid welterweight, but I still give the edge to Crawford.
What's next for Jose Adorno?
For Joseph Adorno. As of right now, if I'm not mistaken, there's already a signed contract for Joseph Adorno to fight October 9th. If I'm not mistaken, it'll be in the bubble again, and he's fighting. I can't think of the name right now, but he's fighting the kid that Ryan Garcia was gonna fight and got arrested like the day before the weigh-in or something. Can't even remember the name, but he's also from Philadelphia. So it's 2 kids from Pennsylvania that are gonna fight each other. It's gonna be a 10-round fight for the NABO title. So you guys could check it out. It's gonna be a really good fight, because I know that the kid is fighting. He just had a good win in his last fight, and he's a tough kid. So Joseph is in a real fight. He's going to be fighting for the NABO title, 10 rounds at the bubble October 9th.
And by Iron Mike, he said, who will Joshua Franco fight next?
Joshua Franco, he's I already talked to his dad, and right after the fight, before I left to Riverside, but before I got in my car, I told him that I need both of them, Joshua Franco and Bam Rodriguez, both back in Riverside in training camp in 2 weeks, because Joshua Franco, it looks like we have to give Maloney a rematch, because there was a rematch clause on the contract, and from my understanding, I'm talking to Top Rank, it looks like Maloney is going to pursue the immediate rematch. So from what I was told this weekend, that it's going to be in November. They said either mid-November, late November. So it'll be in November, and he's going to have to fight Maloney again. We're going to have to give him the rematch because it is on the contract. And Jesse's fighting in Halloween. From what I was told right away after the fight, everybody at Top Rank, they were so excited from his performance, and they all know he's with Mr. Honda and taking promotions. So Inouye's fighting October 31st, Halloween night. And right away they told me, we'll bring Ban back on Inouye's card. They're both with Mr. Honda, and that way Mr. Honda could be here and watch his fighters fight. So Bam is back October 31st, and Joshua Franco will be back either mid-November or late November. But they're both coming back in 2 weeks, so they'll be in training camp in 2 weeks and preparing for their next fights.
People are asking, when will Mikey fight again?
When will Mikey fight again? Man, I wish I knew that answer. When
he will fight Crawford.
It's difficult right now. The fights are difficult to make, especially big fights. Big cards. Where you do need a gate to be able to pay the fighters. And there's been a lot of word about him fighting Pacquiao and stuff like that, but we've talked with Mikey, and I've told him, look, Mikey, we can't just hope and wait for Pacquiao, because if it's Pacquiao, more likely it won't happen this year. So let's maybe consider taking another fight before that. And I know that there's some fights out there for him, if he really wanted to. But as of right now, we have nothing lined up, nothing scheduled. Mikey is training 2-3 times a week. He comes into the gym and gets a good workout, but there's no date. The other one was if he's ever gonna fight Crawford.
Yeah.
Look, probably not. Let's be real. Mikey had his fall through with Top Rank. Crawford is with Top Rank, so they have to work out those fights for Crawford. The fights that are able to, that those fights that they could actually happen. You guys have already seen Crawford's opponents, and those are the fights he's doing. It would be a huge fight. Honestly, it would be very, very big. But as of right now, there has never even been talk about Mikey fighting Crawford.
Let's see. Robert, do you give Danny Garcia a chance against Spence?
Danny Garcia has a really good chance against Spence. You know what? I still have that question, and I'm sure everybody still does. How is Spence going to come back? How to respond from that accident? It was a bad accident. It wasn't just one of those small little accidents. It was bad. So I know he was in the hospital for a while and had problems in his head or something. So that's a question that everybody's still asking, and myself, I want to see how he responds. He's coming back on a very tough fight. Danny Garcia is very, very tough, very strong. He's one of the strongest welterweights in the division right now, and I think if he lands a good punch, he could finish up Spence. I still think Spence's skills are good enough for him to box and win a decision. But Danny does have a chance. Danny does have a chance. He's got experience. He's already fought. He's already lost a couple times. So he's got nothing to lose. He's going to go out there in great shape and do whatever it takes to win. So that's going to be a very, very good fight.
Iron Mike says again, Virgil Ortiz. When is Virgil Ortiz's next fight?
You know what, Virgil Ortiz, as you guys know, he's just fighting July. So, we were told that he would fight one more time before the end of the year. We're thinking if it's November, December, hopefully they could bring him back. I know the Zone, Golden Boy Promotions, they're very excited about him, and everybody, the whole boxing world wants to see him fight. So hopefully they could bring him back before the end of the year. That's what we were told, so we're still counting on that. The kid is always in good shape. Even when he's back home in Texas, he's always training, always staying in shape, always in the gym. His dad is a trainer that's very strict and keeps his kid in shape all the time. So the kid's ready for whenever we get that call from Golden Boy.
When is Josecito going to fight?
Look, as of right now, there has been talk about Josecito coming back. There was talk about him. Some people even mentioned. I never heard it, but some people mentioned that there was talk about him fighting Crawford. As of right now, we haven't heard anything. We haven't really talked about it. Nobody's mentioned it to us. So for us, that's not a fight that's happening. Would Josecito won the opportunity? Of course, but as of right now, none of that is confirmed or none of that is official. There also was talk about him fighting Hooker, but once again, nothing really official. We did hear that, and that was a little bit closer to where we could believe more, where there has been talk, but in the last week or so we haven't heard anything. Hopefully he does get something like that. He wants a big fight. We already know he's scheduled to fight, but we had been talked about him fighting a different name. But if things change and we get a Crawford opportunity, of course we're gonna jump on that, or a Hooker fight. That would be great. We would definitely find a way to skip the fight that we have lined up to take the fight against Hooker or Crawford. But right now he's already in the gym. He's training. He's already in training camp, staying in camp with my fighters and with my cook Chef Chan. So he's already preparing. So we do have a date, but we still don't know if it's gonna be Hooker or if it's gonna be the original name that they gave us. We will keep you guys posted.
Lomachenko or Lopez?
Lomachenko or Lopez? You know what? That's one of the most exciting fights that one of the fights that I'm excited for this year, and it's Lomachenko Lopez. I like Lomachenko's skills. Lomachenko, I've said it many times before. I love the way he fights, his angles, his footwork. He breaks his opponents down little by little. He's very smart in the ring, uses the ring very well. But I think Teofimo's just very strong. He's confident that he's gonna beat Loma. So I give Teofimo a great chance of being able to connect and land that punch and hurt Loma. Loma's been dropped. He's been hit a little bit more than he's supposed to against guys that might not be in the level of Teofimo. So that's why I think Teofimo has a great chance. I still pick Loma by decision, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Teofimo lands that punch and beats Loma, because Teofimo is confident. He's got great power, great skills also, and he's just gonna be the bigger man. So I give Teofimo great chances of winning.
People are asking, why did you help Bam's opponent when he got knocked?
Why did I help Bam's opponent when he got knocked out? Look, I had already been in the ring against Rivera with Carlos Licona. We went to Puerto Rico to fight Rivera with Carlos Licona, and I met him there. Great person, great kid. We got to know each other, and him, his team, they're great. They're great people, and look, this is a sport. We don't wish anybody getting injured and getting hurt. So before the fight, the day of the fight, we're all in the bubble. So security takes us in the elevator to the cafeteria to go get some breakfast. So I was in the same elevator with Rivera, and we were talking. We took pictures together. He's a great kid. Very, very respectful kid. We talked about Puerto Rico when Licona beat him in Puerto Rico, and like friends. Not because my fighter's fighting him. I'ma hate my fighter's opponents. Never will and never have. I have nothing but respect for anybody that steps in the ring, and the kid and his team. They were, they, like I told you guys, they took pictures with me the day of the fight. On our way to breakfast, and we talked about boxing, about fights, his fight against Licona in Puerto Rico, and I wish him good luck. So then when Bam, dropped him and hurt him the way he did, and especially the very last one, the kid was really hurt. I couldn't help it. I had to go out there, help the team take off the gloves, make sure his blood is circulating well. The kid got up, and when he got up, I kind of put my hands around him because I noticed that he was still wobbly. So he didn't want to sit down because he's just a brave kid. He says, "No, I'm okay." But I said, "No, you're not. You're not okay." I told the doctor, "He's not okay, doctor." So we sat him back down, and put some water on his head. Just had to wake him up. Good thing he recovered. He was also. I'm pretty sure he's very religious. He got Bam and went to the corner, and they both got in their knees. He wanted to pray for Bam, so I think that was very, very nice of him. He's a great kid. I think because I'm also friends with him on Facebook, and today he put something on Facebook saying that he's going to retire. That he already had a great career. He challenged for the world title in one occasion and fought great fights. And he said that this was his last fight. So I wish him the best. I hope he has other plans. Maybe go back to school. Maybe maybe he already has a degree. Maybe he already has a business. I don't know. Hopefully he does. And I wish him the best. I can't wish nobody bad, and especially in boxing.
Cristian Ramirez is asking Crawford or Porter?
Crawford or Porter? Look, I think Porter's one of the welterweights that they mention among the best welterweights, and every time they mention the top 10, Porter's in there as one of the top 10, maybe top 5 welterweights. But I wasn't very, very impressed or very happy with his last performance. It was just one style. He's just tough. He goes, forward, throwing punches. Like I told Pita, he wanted to watch the fight, and I said, just watch one round, and the whole fight was like that. The opponent wasn't any big name or anything, so it didn't really bring a lot of excitement into the fight. Maybe he didn't bring out his best because the opponent just wasn't in that level. But I wasn't very, very impressed. I think it was Crawford, right? They said Crawford. Yeah. I think Crawford beats Porter. Porter did give Spence a really good fight. They fought a tough fight, and it was pretty close to a lot of fans. So he is tough. He is tough, and he'll give anybody a tough fight. But I think Crawford beats him.
A lot of people are asking Nestor versus Bear.
Nestor versus Bear. Give Bear one more year, and he knocks Nestor out.
Adrian Estrada is the gym accepting fighters or visitors at the moment?
Look, we do have fighters that come in, especially for sparring. Obviously, everybody has to wear their mask. As you guys probably seen this Saturday, yesterday, I was in Vegas, but Fernando Vargas came with his kids. They sparred in my gym. Pita made sure he had sparring for Fernando Vargas' kids, and they came sparred. There's a few videos of that Fernando posted on social media where he's in my gym, and the kids are talented. The kids are excited to be there. Fernando's posing with his kids, and it looks like they had fun. So yes, people do come in for sparring, and they do. My gym's always open. Visitors, we try to keep very amount of visitors just because of the pandemic. But my gym is always open. I never shut the door on anybody. Right now, we might be a little more careful just because the pandemic. We'll take your temperature. We'll make sure you have your mask on. Hand sanitizers and all that. But yeah, we just have to be a little more careful. But yeah, my gym is always open.
People are asking, will Mikey fight Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia?
Mikey, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. Look, Mikey's a free agent, and I know Mikey's fought for PBC in his last few years since he came back after that 2.5-year layoff. His last fight was for the zone, but he's still a free agent, so he could definitely fight those guys. They're both tough welterweights, not easy fights, but I think Mikey's one that could compete against any top welterweight in the division.
Is Martinez gonna have a rematch?
Martinez, look, after the fight, I got called from people that are with the WBA, promoters, managers, people from PBC, promising me the rematch. They told me Romero's not going to have another fight. He's going to have to give you guys a rematch. But that was a few weeks ago. In the last couple of weeks since the week of the fight, after that, I haven't heard anything. I really don't know what's going to happen. I hope they do. I hope we do get the rematch. But at this point, that kind of already flew away. People already forgot about it, and they haven't really mentioned anything. We hope we do get the rematch, but I cannot guarantee you guys we will.
Can any people are saying, can any fighter reach the fame as Tyson, Oscar, or Floyd?
Can anybody what?
Can any fighter today reach the fame as Tyson, Oscar, or Floyd?
Look, it's gonna be pretty hard. Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy, gold medalist, 6th division champion, Mayweather, pound for pound, the best in the last 20 years maybe. It's gonna be very difficult, very very difficult. So for somebody to accomplish more and to be more popular than them. We right now with social media, you have a lot of young fighters that are very popular. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia with over 7 million followers. He might have more than most of the fighters right now at the moment. But their accomplishments, what they've accomplished is going to be very very hard. Those two are Hall of Famers and are those that will be remembered for many many years.
Actually, a lot of people are asking when is Neno's next fight?
Neno's next fight, as you guys know, Neno was scheduled to fight this coming Saturday. He was on the same card this coming Saturday, but for some reason, the fight didn't happen. And from what I was told, is Cancio decided not to take the fight because there wasn't enough money for him, and I don't blame him, Look, Top Rank has a budget for the whole card, and most of the time, the main event and then the co-main event, they take most of the budget, so there's not much money left for the undercard. And even though Cancio is a former world champion that just recently signed with Top Rank and still hasn't had one fight for Top Rank, he was still not going to be neither the main event or the co-main event. So there wasn't a lot of money, or at least the money he expected, being a former world champion. And like I said, rightfully so. I agree with him. I think he's a former world champion that deserves a nice decent payday. But since the fight was not going to be main event or co-main event, I also have to we also have to understand Top Rank's position, where they can't overpay their fighters. So Cancio decided to wait, and hopefully he gets something bigger in the future, where he gets a big main event or co-main event fight. There's a lot of fights at 130. So Top Rank has big names at 130. So I think he could really match up against any of those top 130 pounders. So as of right now, I was told by Top Rank that they're gonna try to put Neno and maybe the following week or a few weeks from now. But still working on it. We don't know. We hope to know something sooner than later.
People are asking, how much does it cost to train at your gym?
Look, my gym, especially with me, I work with my professional fighters, and I don't charge to come into my gym. People that train, Pita and Chepe, obviously they do private training. They do classes in the evenings for the amateurs. So they do have a membership fee. I really don't even know how much it is, but they do have a lot of kids, a lot of members, and if I'm not mistaken, this next month of October, they're going to start with their classes opening up again. They have 3 classes starting at 4 o'clock, and I believe they end like at 8:30 at night. So they will go back to other classes. Right now, they don't have that many classes. They only have 1 class, and it's the kids that are already fighting amateurs, so they want to continue training them. But October 1st, they're gonna reopen to other classes. So anybody that wants to come in and join, after 4 o'clock is when they start the classes.
What is the fight you would currently want to see amongst any division?
Right now, which fight I would want to see in any division? Well, look, I would like to see Virgil fight a top contender at 147. From Ugas, who was very dangerous, to Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. Those are big fights, and before we even go into Crawford or Spence, I would first want to see him against those 3 names that I mentioned. I'm not saying they're gonna happen. There's so much politics and see those fights that we really want to see. But those, I would like to see Virgil fight a top contender at 147, and then eventually, obviously, against the world champions, Spence, Crawford. I think Virgil, within a couple more fights, I think he's got a great chance of competing against any of those guys.
How do you think Marquez did this weekend?
Marquez Valle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another one of our fighters that fought. He fought Friday in Florida. We were not able to travel because I was already with BAM in Las Vegas, and by that time, it was just a little bit too late to get the flights. Chepe or Pita were already busy doing other stuff, and we weren't able to fly them. But I already talked to his manager, his father, and that won't happen again. That's why we have three trainers, myself, Pita and Chepe. So if I go to one fight, they have to go to the other one. For this fight, we couldn't do it. Marcus still looked really good. He won first round knockout. So I'm very happy. We got news right there when we were in at the fights, and they, the day before at the wins, they told us, hey, first round knockout. Very happy. Kid is very strong. He has a bright future. He's very dedicated. Always in good shape. Always, his body always looks really good. So I think Marcus Valle has a really, a lot of potential of one day becoming a world champion.
When will Tanahara will fight next?
Tanahara, he's in the gym. He's been training. He's been sparring really good. There was talk about him fighting Fortuna, so that's why he's in camp. He's ready. He's ready for that phone call. That's all we're waiting for. We want to fight. He's ready to fight, hopefully the Zone and Golden Boy work something out so they could make that fight because Tanahara's ready. He's been sparring really good. He's sparring up to 12 rounds with solid sparring partners and if they tell us in 2 weeks, we'll be ready in 2 weeks. If they tell us 1 month, then we'll be ready in 1 month. But he's ready. He's ready to fight, and he's ready to fight Fortuna.
A lot of people are asking what's your favorite fight of all time, or what's your favorite fight?
My favorite fight of all times, I have to say Corrales Castillo, the first fight. That was, I think, not only me, but I think a lot of people in boxing. That fight was just so good. Corrales versus Castillo, it was a great fight. Obviously the Gatti Ward fights were also unbelievable, but I still pick Corrales Castillo as my favorite of all time.
And also a lot of people are saying, Robert, what was your favorite fight of your career? My
favorite fight of my career, man, I don't think I ever had a favorite fight because for me it didn't really mean too much. Even winning the world title wasn't too much for me. I was never excited about that fight, about winning a title. It wasn't, I just never really had the love for the sport, I guess. I did it because I was good at it. My dad, pushed me to do it since I was a kid. So that's the reason I did it. But I was never too excited to be a boxer. So, I think my first title defense against Ramon Ledon, a Cuban who was ranked number 1 in the world, was my mandatory challenger. He dropped me in the second round, hurt me pretty bad. I got up, survived the round, then knocked him out in the 5th. I think that was a very good win for me, coming from a very dangerous knockdown, very strong kid, and I was able to knock him out. So that was probably the one that made me feel a little bit proud of myself, or made me feel like a world champion. But even when I challenged Joel Casamayor for the WBA super featherweight title, to me it wasn't. I wasn't excited about even. Obviously I tried to win. I didn't win, but I was trying. I tried, but I wasn't too excited about winning another title. To me, it was just. That's all I know how to do, and my dad taught me to do it, so I have to do it. It was more like a have to, not a want to.
Mikey versus Ruiz.
Mikey versus what? Yeah?
Ruiz.
I don't know what Ruiz they're talking about.
Alright.
Just read other questions. Mikey versus Ruiz. If it's Andy Ruiz, that's a stupid question, mijo. Virgil. ¿Ya no muchas questions, mijo?
I can't really see anymore.
Alright, well, we're already close to an hour anyway, so, next week we'll go back to normal with Pita being our host, and him doing the questions that he always does. We'll see what kind of news we have this week in boxing. We didn't have that much, the fights that happened this weekend. We already talked about them earlier. We have our fighter, like I said, Eric Puente fighting, and hopefully you guys stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week.